everyone, it's Claire Jarvis here from Restore Fitness Therapies, and in this video I want to talk to you about the things that you can be doing post-birth to start yourself on that journey to recovery, even if you or your physician have decided that you're not quite ready to join in with physical Pilates classes or another form of physical activity quite yet. Now, there are two things that you can and ideally really should be doing straight off the bat from day one when you have given birth. And the first of those is pelvic floor exercises, and the second thing is breath work. Now, if you've had a vaginal delivery, then your pelvic floor will have undergone an enormous amount of stress and strain during that birthing process, and it will have been significantly weakened. So your pelvic floor exercises are absolutely essential in starting to strengthen those muscles so that we can avoid any kind of embarrassing incontinence issues, among a whole host of other things. Now, hopefully you are doing your pelvic floor exercises throughout pregnancy, and those that you do postnatally are exactly the same as those that you do during pregnancy. So you have your fast exercises, you have your slow exercises, and ideally we're going to be going through those 3 times a day. So hopefully you've got a little app on your phone that might remind you, or you can put a timer on your phone. And again, don't worry if you miss a set, but just try to do the best that you can there. But ideally that's what we're aiming for, is fast and slow exercises 3 times a day, and we can do that literally from day one of having given birth. One thing we like to recommend to clients is to maybe try and attach doing your pelvic floor exercises to a particular task that maybe you do 2 or 3 times a day. So now that you're a new mum, it might be whenever you sit down to breastfeed, that's when you think about doing a set of pelvic floor exercises, or whenever you're warming up the bottle, or whenever you're changing a nappy, or something like that, where you can kind of multitask it just a little bit. So pelvic floor exercises are super important. Now, even if you had a C-section delivery, your pelvic floor muscles were still put under a lot of pressure during pregnancy. They will have been weakened. So you guys still want to be doing your pelvic floor exercises as well. Same format, same number of repetitions. Again, all the same stuff still applies. So that is something that we can be getting on with from day one, and that is really going to get you on that road to recovery and really get you into a place of feeling much stronger physically. And when you feel stronger physically, it really aids that kind of emotional recovery and that sense of confidence as well. So I really recommend that you start off with those pelvic floor exercises. Now, the second thing that you can be working on is your breath work. Now, if you're somebody who went to antenatal classes, you'll have talked about breathing during the labour process, particularly if you did hypnobirthing. Breathing will have been a really big part of your preparation as well. If you've ever done meditation, so you've probably come across breath work already. It won't be mysterious to very many people, I wouldn't have thought. And in Pilates, breath work is really important as well. We focus on the lateral breathing technique, and we've got videos that describe how you do that and why it's really important. But it's basically a really efficient way of breathing. We take the air into the side of the rib cage. It helps us to really fill the lungs fully there. It's a very calming and relaxing way of breathing, and that's the reason why breath work is so important. So as a new mum, it's a magical period, but it can also be a period filled with some sort of stress and anxiety as you kind of adapt to this new normal. We've been waiting for our little baby to arrive, and now we have this small little demanding person that wants us 24/7, and it can be naturally quite overwhelming and anxiety driven. We might also have a house full of excited relatives, and all we want to do is just curl up and go to sleep, and we feel like we've got to sort of play host somehow as well. Some people also really go through a kind of a mourning or a grieving process that their pregnancy is over. Obviously there's the baby blues. Some people, it may kind of start to ramp up into postnatal depression, unfortunately, but there is basically an awful lot going on in that postnatal period for you, and like I said, there can be stresses and anxieties amongst all the wonderful and magical things that are happening, and to feel that way is completely normal as well. And it's something that you'll be able to chat with your midwife, your doctor, your health visitor, any breastfeeding experts that come round to see you at home as well. So do speak to people about how you're feeling. It's really important. But this is why breath work is something that you can start straight away and will really help you to manage any feelings of overwhelm, anxiety and stress that you might be experiencing. Now, a lot of people are like, oh God, I don't have time to do this. I'm so busy and kind of tired already. And again, a bit like the pelvic floor exercises, it can be a really good thing to attach to something that you do during the day anyway. So maybe, particularly when you're breastfeeding, you're sat down, you're comfortable, you can maybe close your eyes, or you can just kind of look at your baby and use them as a kind of a meditative focus, which is really lovely while you're holding on to them and holding their hand there. And all you need to be doing there is thinking about breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. And all we want to do is make sure we're breathing into the side of our ribs so we get that lovely deep breath. And then just imagine blowing out through a straw on the way back out. And what you want to do is just count the number of seconds you're breathing in for, count the number of seconds you're breathing out for, and just try to gently bring that sort of speed of the breath down a little bit if your heart feels like it's pounding and your mind is racing. And what you'll find is that by concentrating on that breath, you're able to start pushing out the feelings of overwhelm and anxiety there. It will start to make you feel physically more relaxed, and it's something that we can draw on at any time. Again, changing nappies, you're doing that a couple of times a day, maybe putting the kettle on when you go to the bathroom. You just find what works for you, or just whenever you start to feel a little bit anxious and overwhelmed, just return to that breath work. If some people have an app as well, like a meditation app or these kind of breathing apps, you can download tons of them for free. Again, you might have got one with the hypnobirthing course or antenatal course. I would revert back to that. So breath work and pelvic floor exercises are two incredibly valuable things that everybody wants to be doing and can really benefit from postnatally, but particularly if you've been told or you feel you're not quite ready for physical activity yet, these things will really set you up on the road to recovery. So I really hope that's helped you today. And as always, please do reach out to us and get in touch if you want any more help, any more advice, or there's anything at all that we can help you with.